All right, let's journey back in time. We're going to uncover the story of a pharaoh who didn't just try to change the world, he was almost completely deleted from history for it.
I mean, think about it. How do you actually erase a king from history? It sounds impossible, right? But for one of the most revolutionary rulers ancient Egypt ever knew, well, it almost worked. The people who came after him were so threatened by his ideas, they literally tried to wipe him from existence. So, you might see this quote and think, wait, he tried to erase himself? But no, that's not the real story. The truth is way more dramatic. This wasn't some kind of choice he made. It was an all-out attack. His successors were so terrified of his legacy that they did everything they could to wipe him from the history books. Okay, to really get this, we have to go way, way back. We're talking over 3,000 years ago. This was a time when one single king became so powerful, he didn't just rule Egypt, he tried to rewrite its very soul.
So, let's talk about this king's radical idea. Who was he? His name was Akhenaten, and believe me, he was no ordinary pharaoh. The moment he took the throne, he had this vision, a vision that was about to shake the very foundations of his entire empire.
And at the absolute heart of his revolution was a new god, the Aten. Now, for a culture used to gods that look like people or animals, this was, wow, it was a totally radical idea. The Aten wasn't a being you had to imagine. It was just the physical sun disk in the sky, the source of all life, something that everyone, everywhere, could see for themselves.
You really have to understand just how massive this change was. Before Akhenaten, Egypt had this huge pantheon of gods. You had Amun-Ra, Osiris, Isis. I mean, these gods were tangled up in every single aspect of life, wealth, and power. And Akhenaten, he just swept them all aside. For the very first time, something like monotheism had come to Egypt.
And he wasn't subtle about it either, not at all. He systematically tore down the old ways. Step 1, shut down all the temples to the old gods. Bam! Step 2, strip the super-powerful priests of their influence and all their wealth. Gone. And finally, step 3, he declared that the Aten was the one, the only, true god.
So as you can imagine, when you try to upend an entire civilization, there's going to be a backlash. The empire strikes back, right? By tearing down the old religion, Akhenaten didn't just make a few enemies, he basically declared war on the most powerful people in his entire kingdom.
And let's be clear, this was never just about faith. For the priests and the nobles, the old gods were their power. I'm talking their wealth, their influence, their entire place in the world. It was all tied to that system. And suddenly, it all vanished. Akhenaten took everything from them. So yeah, they were furious, and they were just waiting for their chance to strike back.
And the moment Akhenaten died, his enemies struck back, and they struck back hard. Their goal wasn't just to undo his changes. No, it was to completely obliterate his memory. The first thing they did, they destroyed his image. Every single statue of him they could find was smashed to pieces.
Next, they went for his very identity. See, in ancient Egypt, your name wasn't just a label. It held your soul, your essence. So to chisel a name off a monument, that wasn't just censorship. That was an attempt to destroy someone in the afterlife, to literally erase them from eternity.
The ultimate goal was terrifyingly simple. Make it so that no one would ever even know he existed. And for centuries, it worked. They succeeded. Akhenaten, the king who tried to change everything, just vanished from the pages of history.
In the few places where they couldn't completely scrape his name away, he was just called the enemy, or, you guessed it, the heretic. That's how he became known as the Heretic King. It was the ultimate condemnation.
So, for centuries, it really seemed like the priests had won. The Heretic King was gone, totally forgotten. But you know, history has this funny way of holding on to its secrets. Sometimes, they're just buried under a whole lot of sand.
Think about that number. For more than 3,000 years, the world had absolutely no idea this pharaoh even existed. It's like an entire revolutionary chapter of Egyptian history had been ripped out of the book and burned.
And it wasn't just him. Even the amazing capital city he built from the ground up to honor the Aten, a city called Amarna, was abandoned right after he died. And slowly but surely it was just swallowed by the desert, taking all of his secrets with it.
But then, in the 1800s and 1900s, archaeologists started brushing that sand away. They uncovered the ruins of Amarna.
They found tablets and carvings and eventually a forgotten tomb. The Heretic King was back. History tried its best to erase him, but the sands remembered.
So Akhenaten's story is incredible proof that even the most determined efforts to rewrite the past can fail. And it really leaves you with a final thought, doesn't it? Can any story truly be erased forever? And what other incredible stories are out there, right now, just waiting for us under the sand?